Ever wondered why the ocean is salty, or what would happen if it wasn't? Well, the oceans we know today didn't start out salty. They became this way over billions of years as rainfall washed minerals and salts from the land into the water. The ocean's saltiness, or salinity, is an essential part of our planet's life support system. Oceans play a pivotal role in climate regulation. Their vast bodies of water absorb heat from the sun, distributing warmth around the world and moderating our climate. They also produce a significant amount of the oxygen we breathe thanks to the work of tiny marine plants called phytoplankton. Moreover, the oceans are a habitat for a bewildering diversity of life forms. From the smallest microorganisms to the largest whales, a vast array of creatures rely on the salty environment for survival. So the ocean's saltiness isn't just for flavor, it's crucial for life as we know it. But what if, in some alternate universe, our oceans were as fresh as morning dew? Let's take a leap of imagination and dive into this freshwater fantasy. The immediate impact of this sudden shift would be felt most intensely by our planet's marine life. The oceans, as we know them, are a bustling metropolis for countless species, many of which are exquisitely adapted to live in saltwater conditions. From the smallest plankton to the largest blue whale, these organisms depend on the sea's saltiness to survive. In our freshwater world, imagine the mighty shark, the symbol of the ocean's raw power, struggling to survive. Sharks, like many marine creatures, have evolved to live in salt water, with their bodies relying on a delicate balance of salt and other minerals. Without this balance, they'd be facing a grim future. Coral reefs, the rainforests of the sea, would suffer a similar fate. These vibrant ecosystems, home to over a quarter of all marine species, are built by tiny coral polyps that extract calcium from the seawater. With the lack of salt, the polyps' ability to form calcium would be compromised, leading to the collapse of these rich habitats. The ripple effect of these changes would echo up and down the food chain. The death of algae and plankton, the base of the marine food web, would starve off the small fish that feed on them. This, in turn, would affect the larger predators that prey on these fish. The domino effect would be catastrophic, leading to a collapse in the ocean's biodiversity. In this alternate universe, the oceans as we know them would be unrecognizable. The vibrant, bustling underwater cities would become ghost towns, a silent testament to the intricate balance of nature. In this freshwater world, the blue planet's diverse marine life would face a dire crisis. This scenario might sound like a doomsday prophecy, but it underscores the vital role that salt plays in the survival and diversity of life on Earth. It's not just the fish that would flounder. Our global climate would be in for a wild ride. Our oceans are not merely vast expanses of water, they are the Earth's thermostat. By absorbing heat from the sun and transporting warm water from the equator to the poles, they regulate our planet's temperature. But if the oceans were to become fresh water, this intricate system would be thrown into disarray. Ocean salinity plays a vital role in what scientists call thermohaline circulation, a global conveyor belt of ocean currents. Salt water, being denser, sinks below freshwater, driving this circulation. Should the oceans turn fresh, this conveyor belt would grind to a halt. The distribution of heat around the planet would be severely impacted, causing drastic changes in our weather patterns. Precipitation, for one, would be significantly affected. The evaporation of seawater into the atmosphere is a key part of the water cycle. With fresh water replacing salt water, evaporation rates would skyrocket, leading to increased cloud cover and potentially heavy rainfall worldwide. Imagine unending monsoons causing widespread flooding in some areas, while paradoxically leading to drought in others due to disrupted weather patterns. Temperatures, too, would be in flux. Without the ocean currents to distribute heat, the equator could become unbearably hot, while the poles plunge into extreme cold. This could lead to a domino effect, causing the polar ice caps to expand, reflecting more sunlight back into space and cooling the planet further. Wind patterns would also shift dramatically. Winds are largely driven by temperature differences between the equator and the poles. As these differences become more extreme, we could see stronger and more frequent storms, hurricanes and typhoons. In essence, we would be living in a world of weather extremes. Seasons as we know them could change or even disappear. Storms could transform from occasional threats to constant companions, and droughts could become the norm in areas once known for their lushness. Our familiar weather patterns could become as unpredictable as a game of roulette. A silver lining, perhaps, an abundance of fresh water for human consumption, agriculture and industry. With the oceans turned fresh, the world's largest source of water is suddenly accessible. Imagine the possibilities. We could potentially solve global water scarcity, a crisis that leaves nearly 2 billion people without access to clean drinking water today. This newfound abundance could also revolutionize agriculture. With fresh water readily available, we could irrigate arid lands, creating new fertile grounds for crops. This could feed millions, if not billions, and help combat global hunger. And let's not forget industry. Fresh water is vital for many industrial processes, from cooling systems to manufacturing goods. An endless supply could drive economic growth and technological advancements. However, this blessing does not come without a price. The environmental impact would be significant, with ecosystems disrupted and species displaced. The societal and economic shifts could also lead to unforeseen challenges, but would this silver lining be enough to outweigh the potential chaos? So, we've taken a dive into a world with freshwater oceans. It's a wild ride, isn't it? We've seen the salty seas that sustain an abundance of life, from the smallest plankton to the largest whales, all intricately adapted to their saline environment. We've imagined the seismic shift to freshwater oceans, leading to the mass extinction of marine life, a ripple effect disrupting the food chain and oxygen production. We've also explored the domino effect on our global climate and weather patterns. The oceans, like the heart of the Earth, pump warmth and influence the atmospheric circulation. Turning them fresh would send our weather systems into a tailspin. Yet, amidst the chaos, a silver lining emerged. The potential solution to our growing freshwater crisis. While it's an interesting thought experiment, it's clear that we should appreciate our salty seas. So, how will you show your appreciation for our oceans today? If you liked the video, please consider to like and subscribe.